Today Roger and I is going to take you back to France, to the biggest fort of World War I, upgraded and modernized, now with over 5 kilometers of tunnels underground. This was a huge stop fort designed to deny a potential German force to move past it on either side, something it did its damnedest to do. And it is an amazing place I can't wait to show you. It was even used as a hiding place for one lone panther during World War II, sitting in ambush there, or so it's claimed. And it is clear that the Germans took this place very seriously. They rolled out an ungodly array of guns against it in the early days of World War I, and it has more holes in it than even the best Swiss cheese. However, not just from the battle. The Germans had no intention of giving the fort back in case of a back and forth and having to deal with this monster one more time, as you'll see. It was constructed from 1881 to 83, and almost before it was finished, it was obsolete due to the invention of the torpedo shell and the new explosives. It was located 9 kilometers from the German border at the time, and it was initially supposed to have been 3 separate forts, but instead, one huge one was constructed, sitting on a small hill, 360 meters high. It has a complete view and dominance of the surrounding areas, roads, including the Strasbourg-Paris rail link. The fort itself is the Sierre de la Rivière. It was surrounded by a huge ditch covered over 8 hectares in a pentagon shape. Initially, the ditch had 4 caponiers for defense. It was armed with 10 155mm guns, 9 120mm guns, 5 95mm guns, 2 270mm mortars, 4 220mm mortars, and complemented by 2 separate artillery batteries nearby with 9 120mm and 7 95mm guns as well. And then, in 1887, the French began to modernize and upgrade the fort accordingly to the needs of the new threat of the torpedo shell. And that is really what we see here today. The skeletons of the old fort is still underneath, but now an amazing amount of cement and steel domes would be to see, if the Germans had not blown up the steel domes. Anyway, 2 1876 rotating cast iron turrets armed with 2 155mm guns was installed. Then 2 Galopin 1890 turrets with 155mm was constructed. Then 2 57mm Bouchier turrets was installed as well. Now those ramparts with steel plates, steel observation turrets, and one very special gatling gun steel turret as well. 4 more steel observation domes came in later, 2 turrets with projectors, rising projectors. How cool is that? And finally, an electric generator was installed just a year before World War I broke out in 1913. And of course, the entire fort was wrapped in a 30-meter wide barbed wire field. The garrison was composed of 433 infantrymen of the 167th Infantry Regiment and 275 gunners of the 6th and 28 sappers of the 26th Corps of Engineers, with a total strength of 766 men. But there was also 2 cavalry regiments stationed nearby in case they needed support. This was the most powerful fort the French had, and after the French forces around it had been defeated in late August 1914, it stood alone, and from the 23rd of August it was being surrounded by German forces from the Bavarian brigades and pioneers. And on the 25th, they began shelling the fort with a perfectly set-up array of 2 10mm artillery guns, making counter-battery really difficult for the fortress. However, it fought back, and the Germans took casualties. On the 27th of August, Germans set up 420mm howitzers, and over 2 days of shelling, the fort's turrets and guns were slowly taken out of commission one by one, and smoke began to fill the fort, now leaving it no option seen by the commander but to surrender, having taken less than 28 casualties of dead and wounded. But the fort did give a good account of itself during the battle. It was fighting off the German forces that was using with the roads on both sides while streaming west. Roger will tell you about that in a little bit. There are things I've seen in this fort that I've never seen anywhere else, and I cannot wait to show you some of the little things that makes this special, and some of the very, very large holes where the armament used to be.
It's not a very large defended opening for such a large fort, is it? Yeah, there was.
Each engineer wanted to do his own little architectural touches.
So this is the new revised entrance. This was reinforced, right?
This is special concrete here. Yeah, this isn't reinforced concrete. Right, okay.
Ah, là, nous on a refait une porte, mais bon, elle n'est pas blindée. Hein. Mais à l'époque, elle était blindée.
Yeah, there are areas where you have sudden drops in temperature.
La résistance s'est servie du fort pour faire des entrepôts. En 1960, ils ont fait des champignons, puisque...
This place is gigantic.
The 15 kilometers of tunnels.
Qui sera exposé, puisqu'on vient de le trouver dans les fossés.
Right.
Les fameux...
We go down to the famous door under the drawbridge, which puzzled us at more than one fort. Oh yes, this is the slot for the counterweights.
Pour faire marcher le pont-levis,
Yeah.
donc il y avait des contrepoids.
Yes. Which
Donc
went in
ici,
here.
ici, on est dans les fosses de contrepoids.
Yes.
C'était plein de terre, hein, nous, quand on a fait.
Ah,
C'est
right.
peut-être pour ça qu'il y a 10 ans, ça, vous saviez.
Yes,
Ça n'existait pas.
Right, all this was full of earth. They had all to be dug up. It's the slots for the counterweights.
La surprise.
Ah, yes. Right.
Alors, parce que
Yeah, they cut up a lot of scrap between the walls. And that was full of earth, the counterweight slot for the drawbridge. And when they dug it out, there's nothing in it. When they dug this one out, look what they found. The weight, the counterweight for the drawbridge. I've never seen one of those.
bien sûr, on ne bouge pas parce que...
Yes, that is brilliant. The gate under the, hiding under the
On voit
drawbridge.
bien, c'était en plus une
Yeah.
double porte.
Yeah.
on
Yes,
voit
a double
sas.
gate. This is the entry, the war entry. Instead of having a separate war entry around the other side of the fort, okay? This the gate under the hidden under the drawbridge. The drawbridge is the peacetime entry that everybody sees, and this is the way that you would get in without being seen, hidden down in the ditch. And there's a double gate would bar that. So there's like a SAS, an airlock there. Okay. The fort was electrified in 1903 with the generatrice.
Génératrice en 1903.
1903. Before that, they had petrol lamps, oil lamps, and they hung them on these little hooks. And if there was a problem with one of the lamps, the guy would say, "There's a problem with the lamp at station number 3."
Plus loin, c'est plus intéressant.
And this, look, take a close-up of the. That is no way modern farm barbed wire, where the barbs are spaced out like that, tiny little barbs to annoy cows. This is the real McCoy. This is World War I barbed wire. If you get caught in that, you're in big trouble. Tino, this is not built of stone and then covered with concrete. This is molded out of the concrete.
Alors ici, on est dans des coffres de flanquement. Il y a le même exactement de l'autre côté. Hein. C'était pour la protection.
So this is the to guard the drawbridge, right? Before anybody comes to try to break in, you've got the revolver cannon here, the 40mm revolver cannon. You have a guy there with his rifle or dropping a grenade, and there, when they electrified the fort in 1903, you've got a searchlight, not a searchlight, or a lamp.
Projector.
A projector to illuminate.
And that's why you have the shiny polished stone in the well.
Yes.
Avec l'extracteur des gaz.
Yep. And yeah, that's a gas, an extractor. Par les niveaux.
On le voit.
Je me rappelle.
On le voit.
Yes, okay.
Et tu vas voir quelque chose de très bien si tu te souviens de verre.
Good, now I can hear and see. So let me get, this is the bedroom for...
This is the guard post.
This is the bed where the guards would sleep. Right?
5 soldiers to sleep on the bed.
And they're slightly sloping. They're not flat beds. Which is kind of interesting.
Alors ici, on fait une garde. On a refait les lits à l'identique. C'est pas qu'on n'avait pas de niveau, qu'on les a pas mis de niveau, c'était comme ça.
So we have blocks of fuel which were originally used for the Mougin turrets, cupola, which would be worked by steam engines. Okay. Then when the fort was electrified, these blocks of fuel, solid fuel, were used for heating.
Right. That's actually a piece of charcoal, the large one.
Yeah, charcoal.
This.
Charcoal blocks.
That's a very large charcoal blocks. And the other ones, these are bunker coal that we've seen.
Qu'on a retrouvé, hein, ils se chauffaient au boulet de charbon, ça.
From every army, from every war ever.
Ouais. Salut, this is a prison.
Voilà.
No,
Oui.
this is a prison.
Alors pas la prison pour les prisonniers qu'ils avaient pris à l'extérieur. Hein. C'était les soldats, qui n'étaient pas... Qui venaient ils sortaient en ville et puis ils se, hein, comme nous, ils se battaient, ils revenaient, il y avait des rixes.
These are copies of enamel badges that they found.
So that's how they were. That's how they were then.
The colours they were, but they would be enamel plates. Okay, like the street names in French towns.
Yeah.
Enamel plaque. 3 wells. There were 3 wells
Donc
here.
on remplissait l'eau, on remplissait des citernes et on avait des points d'eau comme ça. Le robinet est d'origine.
That's one of the original brass taps.
Bon,
Yeah, they used the French 155 shells stacked together to blow up the turrets.
Plus
So the reason these cracks are here is, I mean, there was a lot of bombardment. So many thousands of shells hit this place in a limited period of time. But the cracks you see here were caused when they blew up the turrets, which were inside. Okay, it cracked all the concrete throughout the fort. Sited at only 11 kilometers from the new German frontier, this was the strongest of all the forts built by the French. It was intended as a stop fort, in other words, to hold up any invading German force until the French army could mobilize and come and rescue it, and to move in behind the Germans. They would be stopped by this powerful fortress, a block, basically, a fort d'arrêt. Now, the Germans headed Scheer at the beginning of the conflict in 1914, and if Manonville hadn't resisted, they would have crossed the plains and headed straight for Paris. There would be nothing in between to stop them. And the fort fought for a considerable time. Their cannons blew up, for example, a German general's command post at a road junction. He was very angry. So they plastered the place with 30.5 centimeter and 42 centimeter shells, which were aimed by balloons, observation balloons.
17,000 shells in 53 hours.
56 hours.
56 hours.
17, how many shells did you say?
17,000.
In 56 hours, 17,000 shells fell on this place. It's a greater concentration per square meter than during the whole of the Battle of Verdun. Now, you want me to go on?
Yeah, keep going.
He's speaking now. Okay. The French were fighting back. It's hard as they could. They were taking serious hits. A Mougin cupola was disabled, two of them were disabled, another, a 57 turret was disabled, a Galopin turret was damaged. They kept on fighting and they kept on shooting. But finally, finally they decided that they were abandoned. The French army had pulled back so far, and they thought, what is the use of carrying on? And the Germans played a trick on them. The Germans said, well, come out and listen. There's no more fighting. The war's over. So come on, you can surrender the fort. It's finished now. Anyway, we brought up a cannon to fire straight in the entrance, and we're digging a tunnel under the left-hand front corner of the fort, which we're going to blow up if you resist. And because so many men, and there were 4 men killed, 2 men on outside patrol and 2 men inside the fort. There were so many guys who had been gassed by the explosions of all these shells, the chemical products entering into the fort through the ventilation system. They decided that they'd done their duty. They'd held up the German attack across the plains towards Paris, and they were going to surrender the fort with honor, which surprised the Germans, because this was the largest of the French forts. A short while later, after the surrender, the French army counterattacked and headed back towards this area. So the Germans blew up as much as they could of the fort. They detonated explosives under all the turrets, and they were simply blown in the air and wrecked.
And that's why these hallways seems to have moved ever so slightly.
The concrete, the special concrete, has been shattered and has moved, the corridors have moved sideways and allowing parts of the ceiling to threaten to fall. Several tons of concrete have been displaced everywhere. It's the devastation is impressive here.
Well, it's still standing.
Yes, it
Alors,
is.
ici, dans le fort de Manonville, il y avait 3 systèmes de communication. Donc, il va rentrer ici dans un premier système de communication. Il va voir tout de suite ce que c'était.
Okay. There are 3 means of communication here in the fort. And we're going to see in a minute the very first system of communications. And I've got a clue as to what it is because I've read the notice on the wall.
Yes, I swept right past that too, and I saw the word pigeon there.
Right. So the best method of c'était un galopin. Right. This was the entry up to the galopin, 2-in-155 retracting turret. And when that was blown up, this was just a big hole, a big shaft. And so when the fort was retaken by the French, they walled up the gap to make it safer, to be able to reuse the fort. They didn't rearm the fort with turrets. They were gone. It wasn't the moment to start rebuilding turrets in the middle of the war. So they did the best they could with the fort, and they used it as a troop shelter. C'était un abri de troupes après.
Oui, oui. Après,
pour les munitions.
Après, ils ont gardé les munitions. Après, ils ont fait aussi des entraînements. Ça servait pour s'entraîner aussi. Ça.
So it was a troop shelter, it was a munitions shelter, and it was used for training purposes, okay? So we won't see any turrets here. There are photos of them lying in the ditch.
J'en reste depuis 1914, des pigeons.
Les pigeons, there's a pigeon up there.
Yep. So is this the chicken, the pigeon coop, or is this a false dome they built to keep the rainwater out?
C'est le pigeonnier, non? Le colombier.
Pigeonnier.
This is
the...
25
pigeons et jeunes, donc 11 mâles et 12 femelles, et 14 femelles. Il y avait 25 pigeons, il y avait...
11 males and 14 female pigeons lived in here. They would have cages, they catch. Yeah, and that's their exit.
That's this is the
pigeon coop for 25 pigeons.
This is actually a reinforced dome to protect the pigeons.
Yeah. So here they had pigeons born in Toul, and in Toul they had pigeons born here in Manonville to swap messages between the two.
And we're back to why homing pigeons are called homing pigeons.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
This is an
On va
amazing
en mettre
place.
quelques-uns comme ça pour...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is. We're at a space where this is the original masonry of when the fort was built first, and they have finished it very nicely. They have made these panels of stone with with a bit of decoration.
It's actually red stone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's red sandstone.
Red sandstone. We see most of the forts around here in yellow.
Yellow sandstone, this red sandstone.
So was this a
Wow,
central
that is-
casemate?
Well, it's a carapace, it's a turtle shell.
It is a turtle shell,
on the
isn't it?
outside of the original masonry.
Is that what they did?
Even some of the stones have been moved, look. They've been blown out of place, look, by the explosion up above. The command post. Inside
So this was built inside.
This
and
is in the
reinforced
internal
on the
wall.
outside.
Internal
Il y
wall.
aller, là. Il y a des deux pièces. Hein.
Post.
Il y avait la cloison au milieu, hein, il y avait deux pièces. Hein. Attends, je t'éclaire pour pas que tu tombes.
Commando Rookall. Oh, yes, il n'était pas si fameux que le commandant Rénal qui a résisté, hein, un peu plus longtemps.
Bah, il faut savoir que dans les trucs, quand ils disent un fort comme celui de Manonville, c'est prévu pour tenir 3 jours. Donc, quand on pense qu'il a tenu 56 heures.
So this fort was designed to hold out for 3 days. Their only role, because you know every fort will fall eventually or be blown up, or you bring enough force against it or it's cut off for long enough. So their only role was to hold for 3 days, and they knew that a German army could stream past it on either side. But then their turrets, the job of the turrets, was to blow up the supply columns and cut off, isolate the head of the German troops.
Very similar to the idea of the Maginot Line.
Yes. From the 4th of August, he moved into here out of his house in the village. He had a bed there, there was a partition. He had his bed there, he had his office there, and he had a board with acoustic speaking tubes.
That's what that
Like
was.
on a ship to speak to all
Dès que la guerre a été
different
déclarée.
parts of the fort.
Ça bouge, ça bouge pas. Hein.
Ah, non.
Pour véhiculer le matériel et les obus.
Carried shells around, the powder. They had a whole light railway system inside the fort. Incredible. It's a whole little town, isn't it? An observatory. And there would be shells.
Ici, on tombe derrière, là, on est derrière chez le Rocol. Et la galerie donc revenait ici. La galerie faisait le tour du PC. Lui, il était un peu isolé au milieu.
I can't help but see we're in the red.
Yeah. Well, you won't be sitting into this just but from external.
Details. Splitting hairs here.
This is magnificent.
This really is something.
Alors, quand on fait des visites, quelquefois, on demande pourquoi ici c'est plus large. C'est plus large parce qu'il y a des modifications.
There are 9 observations, there are 9 lookouts. And can you see, look, there's a single slot like we had here. C'est pas les trois, c'est pas les trois fontes.
Oh, that's high up. That's very high up, that dome. Oh. That would have been a hell of a time to crank him up there for observation.
Et on a une calotte comme celle-ci au-dessus, avec les fentes. On a les fentes où les crochets, tous ces crochets, les gaines électriques,
What is out then?
on ira tout à l'heure en revenant. On est obligé de revenir.
Well, we all know how I feel about those.
Toutes les gaines passées.
Yeah.
So what about this thing? No, this thing, this hole. That's not ventilation, is it?
There's ventilation and smoke. One is ventilation for air coming in, and one is for the smoke going out.
So this is ventilating out through the hallway that goes back into the fort?
Now, there was another colour, red and orange for the attic roof, right? And if it was black or grey, that would tell you you're not safe here. Okay? Then you had a black or a grey colour. I've never seen that on the walls, the black or grey sort. Les escaliers sont en bonne condition, hein?
Alors ces escaliers-là, ils étaient... Alors ici, on voit la salle des machines, il est pour machines pendant que il fonctionnait parce qu'il récupère tout le temps pour le refroidissement des moteurs.
Right. So there are some water systems under here where all the humidity that came down the walls will be gathered underneath for the cooling water for the engines. Okay? And this winch was found in the debris and was cleaned up. They put it back in place. The winch to take the motors apart.
There's a lot of hallways and tunnels around here. This is awesome.
You know, the water's in there.
Very clean.
I would imagine that's probably pretty clean, except for, you know, a little bit of cordite and mercury and lead and other things. When did they have time to put these up?
When they took the fort back again in 1915.
Just in case, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
These tunnels are beautiful.
I know.
Look at all the humidity that be gathered, put in the systems, the electrical wiring. Oh yes, this was magnificent. It was the most powerful, the most firepower in all the forts of Europe. Vous avez bien fait à couvrir tous les trous.
Et alors d'ici, d'où on était tout à l'heure près du PC où il y avait le pigeonnier, c'est le début de la galerie.
There was a gallery came through here on the right. It's a circular gallery that goes all around the fort.
Which one? This one?
We're in the gallery, yeah. It goes to all the sections of the fort.
Were they sealed in with the doors in between the galleries?
Il y avait des portes dans les... Ici,
oui, il y a des endroits où il y avait des portures fermées, il y a certaines galeries qui étaient refermées. Donc ici on peut voir un observatoire, comme il a été pris au-dessus, ils ont coupé la calotte au-dessus, donc on voit que la...
Is there a level over our head? Is there another level up from here?
I've never seen one of those before, you know. That is a sort of like a hidey hole for the observer to...
Une radio,
ouais.
un petit strapontin,
ouais.
un petit strapontin, une petite place qui est sortie.
It's the Counterscarp gallery tunnel to get to the Counterscarp.
That sounds like a fun way.
Yeah,
why don't we go
that
way?
It's blocked with it.
Is it?
Yeah, look.
Oh,
c'est plein de
fine.
c'est bouché parce qu'on a mis la terre dedans. Ici, la
Seems to be a problem.
c'est qu'on pourrait rejoindre son poste de combat sans jamais avoir à s'exposer à l'ennemi. C'est-à-dire sans jamais avoir à sortir du poste pour rejoindre un poste extérieur. Ici, on rejoignait ces postes de combat qui étaient dans le mur de Contrescarpe, on l'a dit tout à l'heure, par un tunnel, on est bouché parce que les salles des premiers qui étaient passées. C'est un tunnel qui passait sous.
Well, here's the first problem, really.
That is serious demolition. Okay, now this is the site of the twin 57 retracting turret. And the reason they used the 57mm instead of the standard 75 was because they were building this in a hurry and the cement wasn't drying. These massive blocks of cement, I can imagine, it takes ages for an all homogeneous block molded in one piece, and they thought we wouldn't be able to bear the weight of a twin 75, so they put twin 57mm in, and they're the Hotchkiss naval guns with the falling breech. I know them very well. They used them as anti-tank guns in 1940.
It's very interesting when I look at this and I look at the way the room has shifted. It looks like this was poured straight on the floor.
Yeah.
and not built into, it's not connected to the floor, it is just sat on top.
Touche pas à ça, petit con. Faut pas faire sauter. C'est quand ils ont fait sauter, ils ont pris les obus de 57. Donc on voit bien, il y en a qui ont 26 qui sont encore bloqués là. Il y en a encore un entier là, en dessous. Hein. On le voit encore avec sa tête là.
Yeah, these are 6-pounder shells.
So what are they doing hiding around here?
The shells they used to blow up the turret.
So they're just still stuck around here?
Yeah, and the 2 shell cases there. Well, it's lifted up in the air, and then it's fallen back down, pour les écraser, pour les attraper. C'est monté et tombé dessus.
It squished the shell in there.
Il y a encore un obus dans la fissure là.
It's in there.
Et là, il y en a encore. Là, il y en a qui sont.
Yeah,
On n'y touche pas, pas tête.
There's 6-pounder shells. Maybe I landed on and squashed these 2 shell cases underneath. This is an electrically operated retracting gear. The whole firing cycle of rising, firing the 2 guns and dropping down, 4.5 seconds under electric power.
So before this became electric powered, was that a manual? Was it manual?
Yes, it was just like in the 75 turrets. You turn the handle and the counterweight went up and down. Then they put a motor on that.
Ici, avec les explosions, il y avait 2 mètres de terre dedans ici. Il y a 3 ans, 3-4 ans, on sait pas ici.
This was filled with 2 meters of earth.
Was there ever?
Earth in there afterwards, and then digging it all out.
It's kind of funny. I never knew there was such a market for growing mushrooms in old forts until I started seeing how many of them they were blown up and used for it.
Bunkers, they do mushrooms.
It's like, it must be to know that was a national
Mushrooms
dish.
are delicious.
Not that delicious.
Well, they are fried mushrooms. Boiled mushrooms are horrible. Fried mushrooms are delicious.
How about fresh in a salad?
Alors, ce que le fort a été électrifié, on lui a mis 2 Ici, on a ce que j'ai dit ici, éclairé,
So the projector was.
donc si vous voulez, du côté-ci, on est du côté.
It'll be wheeled out. And out.
This is one of these searchlight turrets.
Yeah.
Sight off.
Oh, what happened to it?
Alors il faut savoir que ils ne connaissaient pas le béton armé lorsqu'ils ont construit le fort. Donc le fort n'a pas été construit en béton armé.
So, was there a searchlight before the fort was electrified?
No.
So this was built entirely after.
Well, it was electrified. Yeah, it was given
So there's nothing here until then.
This did exist.
This didn't exist.
And it's about a tenth of the depth of the one in Fruan. It's just right down at the bottom. The circular, yeah. We can't go any further there. It's been blown up.
And light destruction. So this is where they sealed this up after in 1915.
Il y a les pré-travaux qui sont prêts pour le faire sauter.
This was sealed up by the French in 1915.
Yes. Yes.
Charbon.
What amazes me is, wait a minute, come on, they mold this. Where are the board marks? How do they mold this?
The only way to get rid of them is to polish it afterwards.
When the contractors were asked for putting out offers to build the fort, the biggest the French ever made, there was a local contractor came along and said, yeah, I'll do the work. They said, how many men have you got? He said, I got 4. And they laughed. Then he went to a village in Italy and brought the whole village here, simply to build the fort. So all around you have Platinis and all the Italian names. And
So the Italians built it.
Italians
So
built
how
it.
did we get rid of the marks?
They smoothed it down.
They did, didn't they? They polished it.
Yes, they polished it.
Why is there a staircase going nowhere?
Quand ils construisaient ici, quand ils travaillaient ici le fort, il y avait plus de 1000 personnes par jour.
1,000 workers a day came here to work.
So they brought the Italians here to build it.
Yeah.
So Just like the Germans did in World War II. Why is there a staircase?
Ah, pourquoi est-ce qu'il y a un escalier?
Parce que là, il y avait un abri au-dessus, comme celui où on va aller. Et comme ici, ça avait pété quand ils ont fait sauter, c'était un trou facile d'accès après. Donc ils ont muré, le génie, quand ils ont repris le fort, ils l'ont muré. L'escalier là desservait un abri qui est derrière.
There was a shelter, a troop shelter up there, but when they blew it up, there was just a big hole that made it very easy to get in.
Yeah,
So the engineers
sealed
really
it up.
filled it up.
Yeah, of course.
And they didn't smooth it down, did they?
No, they didn't.
Oh, this is so beautiful. Okay, this is le fameux chicane. It's water systems. All the water is recovered.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, I wish I could have been. Big cracks.
Donc ici, on avait des ventilateurs. On avait un ventilateur. Donc au départ, avant que ce soit électrifié, on faisait marcher ces ventilateurs à la main. Pour savoir dans quel sens il fallait le faire tourner, il y avait des flèches comme ça. Et ça, c'est pas nous qui l'avons rajouté. C'était mûr.
This is the base of a ventilator, and on the wall there's an arrow, a black arrow showing the way you turn the handle. Okay, and then when they electrified it, there was no need for that anymore. There was an electric motor here. So much easier when it's electric.
Donc, comme ils ont été pétés dans les premiers obus, et ben après on l'a muré pour pas qu'il puisse rentrer par là.
Okay. Behind this wall was the peacetime casemate, barracks. And when they were blown up, they were the first to go. And then this was just walled up to prevent access.
So the peacetime barracks are actually no more.
Blown up.
On voit bien les ventilations, là, on va aller pour prendre l'air là-dessus. Donc ici on trouve un point d'eau.
Oh yeah, this is another water point with one of those brass taps that have been. Vous êtes combien dans l'association qui...
Maintenant c'est sur les disponibilités, c'est toujours pareil.
There are 36 members of the association when they pay their subscriptions, but there's only 12 turn up to work.
Yep. That's not the worst statistic I've ever heard.
Histoire de faire des visites dans le 3.
Three guys. Very complex molding here, isn't there?
Yeah.
These railings have been replaced after the water was gone. That's beautiful, smooth concrete. These railings have been replaced.
On ne mettait pas les obus avec lesquels l'explosif c'était différemment. Donc ici ça faisait des alvéoles, on voit très belle alvéole.
Okay, this is a troop shelter.
Oh, yes it is.
With ventilation there, and they would rush out to man the ramparts. Not to that, ce qu'ils ont fait, les moulures. You got little semi-stones. But look at the mouldings here, I love this. Just that they would cut them in granite, look. They moulded them. Brilliant. That is significant protection above that little debris. There, look at that. So the entry is sort of hidden away. So the shallows.
It's a little weird there had to be a little window.
There was the little hole. There's a spring-loaded clapet that when there's a blast outside it shuts. Really well thought out these places are, aren't they?
So what do we have up here? Munition shelters for artillery? No.
All right, this was at the top of that block stairway.
Donc dans celui-ci, le plancher est descendu et dedans il y a des cuves. Il y avait des cuves de pétrole.
Oh, there were petrol storage places here for their lamps down below.
Okay. In all of these?
No.
No, all of these are.
Petrol store in this one.
This is interesting. I've never seen storage houses per se sitting on top of a fort. Oh, there.
Oh, there's a big. What is that there? There's a big lump.
I don't know.
They are troop shelters.
These are?
Chunks taken out of it. Oh wow, what have we got up here?
A rampart, I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh, the garret.
Alors là, le parapet.
Okay, this is like we saw at.
Yeah.
The one I can never remember the name of. The little garret.
Ah, mais il y a comme ça, il y a le parapet. Hein. L'autre, il rentrait derrière, il se mettrait à l'intérieur. Il avait derrière une porte blindée qui se refermait pour le protéger.
Oui.
Celui-ci, ben, il a eu un obus qui l'a traversé, hein, malheureusement.
Oh no, there's a shell going through the front. Holy Moses.
Oh, yeah. I was just about to ask what happened to it.
Yeah.
You're definitely not inside the turret. I mean.
Oh, I'm inside the turret now.
No. I'm distinctly. I'm feeling that you're not cinematically.
This is as far as the large Roger can reach.
Après, là-bas, il y avait la tourelle hein, derrière. Hein. La tourelle, on est au-dessus du poste de
Oh,
commande.
Tino, this is the third type of parapet. But the first type of parapet was just earth. Like on the little ouvrage we saw last night, the earth round the central. Now, the second type was what we saw on top of the entrance block of the ouvrage fort that we went in, which had flat stones and cutouts to put your Model 1907 machine guns in. This one is the third type that had the actual hinged shields, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That would go flat to protect your head and go up with the embrasure de tir, the firing embrasures. This has been blown up as well.
Yeah, I was going to go, a piece of metal is not going to help you a whole lot here.
Big chunks of concrete over there as well.
But this was destroyed in the shelling.
It slopes away, so you can shoot at you can lay your rifle, your barrel here, and you're aiming at the top of the contrascap.
Yeah.
It aims it for you.
Yeah.
It gives you the depression. Mais c'est ferraillé ou découpé?
Oui, ça a été ferraillé, ça a été coupé.
Exist.
Since 2012.
So the scrappers got to here before.
Yeah. Because this place really annoyed the Germans. It had 6 turrets firing all around, 2000 all the time. When they were trying to just drive peacefully past, you know.
Well, that really is very annoying when you get shot at when you're not expecting it.
The 12 guns firing at you.
Was it blown up or did it get stolen? Or
Right, they didn't blow it up, they got scrapped.
observation dome is over there. The 57 turret was right there. And this is where the projectile was. These 3 items are very close to each other. I mean, this is almost what you would almost call a centralized fort part, isn't it? You have, I mean, the dome observation right there, it's right here, the dome is right there, 420 right in the middle, and all 3 would be out. I'm actually surprised they're that close to each other.
Yes. So they had 80 millimeter with no recoil system. They had 120s, and they even had the cohorn, the little.
So they had guns out here.
Yeah, they had.
So they had munition stores for them.
It would be. Wow.
Yeah,
Là,
it's
il est à
upside
l'envers.
down.
Il est à
Blew
l'envers.
up in the air and fell down again.
Ah, on voit l'échelle.
Jeez.
C'est le haut de l'échelle pour monter à l'intérieur. Hein.
Yeah,
Monter
the
à
top of the
l'intérieur.
ladder.
Yeah.
That's it. And yeah, and, there's a German photo showing this, so that we know this. It's
Et
not
le bidon.
scrappers.
Le
This
bidon qui est là.
That can is original.
That
It actually
was one
belongs
of the
here.
parts that they, no, that's what they blew the turret up with, the cupola up
The
with.
powder in the can.
Yeah, and all the other cans.
Il y a du point hein, là quand on regarde le.
Oui, oui, oui.
le-
C'est brisé, et jeté en l'air, et retombé.
So this was, it was filled up with dirt, the whole thing, you covered
Yeah,
up.
it was completely
Who
covered
com-
over and they found
Ça
it.
arrache comme ça. Hein.
Yeah.
Right.
Incredible.
Là, elle n'a pas descendu plus bas parce qu'elle est bloquée par des. Alors que c'est
J'étais en train d'abandonner Verdun à cause de ce qui s'est passé ici.
Ah oui, c'était.
Et est-ce que ça s'est enclappé pour fermer
Non, c'est des choses, c'est pas trop, c'est des choses qu'on a retrouvées. Il y a beaucoup de rivets, donc je pense que ça bien déployé. Il y a beaucoup de.
Les éléments présents.
Oui, on sort ici.
Different tubes.
On ressort ici, là.
Because they established a manning on a naval system, 6 hours on, 6 hours off, up and getting all that. Then they use the same communication systems as in the ships.
Well, I mean,
Either the speaking tubes or telephones.
this is interesting.
Donc là, ça laisse, oui, vous l'avez.
Ventilation again.
Quand on était dans la ville, oui, vous l'avez derrière, ça donne dans les pièces derrière. Donc derrière,
That was one of those shutters as well, right?
Yeah.
That's something.
comme des gens qui, je vais l'amener voir un truc que je montrerai jamais.
So this way. How many kilometers of hallways are?
We're the first one on the walls.
Powder store. The Germans were here. There's a little bunker art going on there. That's great for that.
Ici, il y a le truc. Ah, les belles filles! Did you see on the entrance?
Haven't gotten that far yet.
Ah. 15 kilometers of tunnel.
Regardez là. Avec le casque Adrien.
Ah, le casque Adrien. Yeah, thank you. C'est Jeanne d'Arc dans une casque médiévale, ça.
Les subsistances.
The same drawing is on one of the bridges in the village. The same girl. That's been drawn on. Il faut mettre un morceau de plastique dessus. Hein?
Ah ouais, c'est les aluminiums qui va se mettre entre les deux.
Ah, but you get 800 liters of water out of the pump. Enough for 3 days.
These are powder stores, right?
Ici, il y a la même pièce, hein, c'était des subsistances, il n'y a pas de dessin. Et dans la pièce du fond, là, c'était un puits. C'est un puits à 30 degrés.
Oh, there's a well, a very deep well here.
Le principe, ici, c'était le même principe que
What am I looking at? Names?
C'est quoi le... It doesn't say much.
And then the casals behind that.
Oh, I like this word, j'aime ce mot. Musée.
Alors là, ce sont toutes des choses que l'on a trouvées.
I smell sheep. I do. I smell sheep, just saying.
On voit bien les grenades, ici dans ce fusil. Et renvoyer la lumière pour éclairer.
Yeah, it's one of those light wells, painted in white.
What is?
Not like we saw.
Oh, this is.
Yeah, coming down.
Okay, what are the holes next to me? So there's a floor up here.
Explosions, I think.
No, I'm talking about these.
How they built it.
So about these
Alors
three.
ici, quand ils ont repris, ici, derrière, tout est cassé. Donc ici, pour pas qu'ils puissent rentrer.
Oui.
Ici, c'était creusé, il y avait une mitrailleuse en bas. Là, il y avait le fusil, et en haut, ils pouvaient balancer des grenades. Pour éviter les intrusions.
Yeah, that's a machine gun post. That's a grenade ramp. And these are rifle.
But this was built after it was blown up?
Yeah, when the French came back.
When the French came back.
Ça, c'est pas d'origine, hein. C'était reconstruit après.
Yeah.
C'est comme ici, cette chicane-là, on l'a laissée.
Maçonnerie. Maçonnerie.
Yeah, see there's a roof of it was cut with beams, steel beams there. And here's a fighting position.
On peut les rentrer là, on est blessé, on peut la ville, l'usine électrique, on est venu là, on est revenu, on était ici, on est revenu là, on est sorti, on a fait cette partie-là à l'extérieur, on a encore tout ça à voir.
Et nous avons visité c'est là, le projecteur.
Donc là, l'échelle, la fameuse échelle pour monter dans les observatoires, avec la plateforme.
La plateforme, ouais.
La plateforme. C'est la seule machine à coudre qui reste au fond.
They'd go out on patrol as far as the frontier every night. When they came back, they would stop off at the pub and bring back some bottles.
Don't think that would work these days.
No. It's the only sewing machine left. Did you find the sewing machine?
Yes.
Yeah. The only sewing machine left in the... They used pig fat grease, to lubricate the turrets.
It looks like the original fort to me.
This is the masonry, the original masonry. C'est la maçonnerie d'origine.
Ah oui, d'origine.
It used
C'est
to
la
be a
première
thing.
chose qu'ils ont pillée. Hein.
There's a big lookout cross up.
Mais le local, nous, on en a gardé pour faire d'autres
Still
essais
there?
radio. Non.
Actually, so these are cable ducts lined in wood.
Yes.
I haven't seen that before either.
This was one of the most modern of all the forges in this place.
Yeah.
Officers' quarters.
C'est des officiers d'artillerie qui étaient là. Dans une chambre comme celle-ci, on mettait 8 officiers.
8 officers.
Si on mettait...
C'est la caserne de paix.
Si les autres classes.
Caserne de guerre.
Lorsqu'on mettait des sous-officiers, on multipliait par 2.
Ah,
On mettait 16. Et quand
Et
on mettait
officers.
des hommes de troupe, on multipliait encore par 2. On mettait 32.
8 officers, 16 NCOs, and 32 soldiers. You kept multiplying by 2.
On a vu dans la fissure là. Alors il s'est passé par là, ici aussi, dans le village d'avant où vous êtes arrivé. Il y en a un qui dit, mais il passait les Allemands, il dit, c'est pas ce soir. Puis il dit, mais là, il y a un truc, là, qu'est-ce que c'est? Il y en a un qui dit, mais moi je sais ce que c'est. J'ai construit une fois, je vais ici, il y en a, il n'en est pas loin. La place, on a fait un petit peu.
Close for the damage.
And when the Germans came here, they found the wires that went through the village to two, and they cut into the wires, and they rang up the fort to say anything new going on. But the operators here in the room, they always used a code, the girlfriend's name to identify them, so they knew it was the Germans. This was the medical center. The doctor came here and was a surgeon. He could operate on people. Oh, they broke this down to rebuild the local village, to get the stones out.
Okay, but what am I actually looking at?
This is the original stone construction.
Yes.
Compression arches.
Yes.
Right, to spread the weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then cement.
And then they poured concrete.
Sur lequel ils ont déroulé une feuille de plomb pour l'étanchéité.
That when it was level, they put a layer of lead.
Yeah.
To make it waterproof.
Yep.
Ensuite, on a mis du sable entre 50 cm et 1,50 m de sable.
Then 50 centimeters to 1 meter of sand to absorb the shock, to absorb the impact.
Yeah.
So they thought that would absorb the shock of the shell impact, but in fact it had the opposite effect. It increased the shock effect coming through.
Okay. And this is the original concrete that was lined up with that.
Right. Well, you've got the concrete that would fill in, that would flatten the surface.
Yeah.
Then you put the lead above this first layer of concrete, and then you put the sand above the lead. That's all gone.
This is the peacetime barracks or the wartime barracks?
This is the peacetime barracks.
So was all this original construction?
So wait a minute.
Then again.
As in again. So you've got the supporting arches, the stress relieving arches, and then it's all flattened with concrete poured over it. Then the lead, then the sand, then that is the 3 meters of concrete. Look at that block.
So what happened to it? Because I have a really hard time trying to figure out what this actually looked like, what this actually was.
They took the walls out to get the stones out to repair their local village.
So that's not wartime damage?
No.
Okay, now what?
There's the wall.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the original masonry wall which would go across. Okay?
Alright, well that explains it.
And then when it was reinforced, look, you've got the carapace.
So this is post-construction reinforcement?
Yeah, this is the reinforcement.
All this new cement?
Yeah.
So this is the outer case?
Yeah, this is
So when it was originally constructed, we were all the way up to about the lead layer and then whatever sand, and then the last...
Well, no, after it would be earth originally.
Yeah.
And then they take that away and put the sand and the concrete, but that's the underneath of the sand.
De ça à Verdun.
No, là. Des photos.
Ah, on va y aller, vous allez voir. On va y aller.
Où j'en avais.
On va aller. Alors, la pièce qu'on a fait, c'est qu'il n'y a pas d'écrit. Alors, c'est là qu'on préparait le pain. Et que l'on faisait, une fois que le pain était cuit, on le faisait décanter. Parce que, à l'époque, la farine n'était pas celle que l'on connaît maintenant. Si on mangeait le pain avec qui sortait là, il fermentait. On pouvait mettre du fermenté, on laissait retoucher.
Right. Now this is where they let the bread season, if you like, or settle down after they've been cooked.
So
they took the baguettes out of the oven.
So when the bread was upset, they put it in here to settle down. So this is where women should be.
They continued to ferment. After they cooked it. Fermented in the stomach.
That explains why here's the oven.
Là, donc la pièce à faire, on ouvre là, les fours à pain.
They are going to take a little work to repair.
Les fours à pain.
Ah,
c'est bien dommage.
Oh, yes. Shame, isn't it? It's not all up.
Yeah. Well, I know where there's a few.
And they took the stones out of there again. They just
Yeah, they did.
hip grabbed the stones, risking their lives that they didn't fall on them. Oh. Aye, toujours ici, dans le mur. There were pipes in there.
It's a very elaborate wartime barracks, I'll say.
Yeah.
Ah, j'avais demandé que les ça. Maintenant, il faut vu ça.
En bois.
Voilà. Petite chambrée, donc un lit de troupes, hein. 4 personnes. La tablette du bas, ça se replie. Si on veut gagner la place, on replie la tablette du bas. On met de la place. On a chacun son tabouret. Donc ici, on mettait ces 4 armes. Ici, leur sac, 3 sacs. Le 4e étant sur la pièce du bas. Sur celle du haut, on mettait le pain le plus loin possible du sol, hein, pour les souris. On a des crochets dessus qui s'appellent des crochets de fourniement. Alors ceux qui sont devant servaient à accrocher le ceinturon avec la baïonnette. Et ceux qui sont...
You see that? I've never seen one of those.
One of these?
On a bed?
You put your foot up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen it. That's the only one I've ever seen. You see the beds in Dormont? And they don't have that. Look at this magnificent. They folded the beds up, Tino, and never did that either.
They did. That's a fold up.
That's why I folded up.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's wood in between them.
So they just put
They folded wood and folded them. But that's the first time I've ever seen a foot stand.
Yeah, well, it's full time I've seen the fold up World War I bed.
Yeah.
It doesn't say much for the mattress, does it?
Magnificent stove.
I know these ovens really are something else. Wonder how many of them are sitting around in private homes.
Pyrorex. All the heating elements of the hot air come out of
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Là, ça on a un puits en dessous. Donc on a la grosse cheminée au-dessus avec le couteau qui ont été cassés.
Right, that's the pump over there, which fills the.
Is there any fire in anything with fire in here? Since I'm looking at smoke trails on the.
Oh.
Yeah, why is that?
No, I think that's just moisture. Absent smoke trails. And this is the peacetime
Barracks.
barracks. Aha.
Et qu'il y a du matos, quand il faut arrêter, quoi. Un soir, on a retrouvé des sandwichs et des tout là-dedans, des capotes, ils sont venus faire la chouille là-dedans, quoi. On retrouve des feux là-dedans. Donc voilà la deuxième qu'on a trouvée, fameuse comme celle qui est rentrée. Hein. Ah, on les a mis là en exposition. Bon, on en a une qu'on va sortir parce qu'on la retrouve.
And they said, well, put the ventilation system on. And of course, then they pulled in more gas.
But this wasn't gas. This was combat smoke and cordite fire. This was 1914
gas.
Okay.
And then they had to put them in a special room and give them oxygen.
Yeah.
Alors là, on se trouve devant des belles façades.
Oui, ça c'était à l'extérieur.
C'était des belles façades.
Apporter encore plus.
Ces gens-là, on les a mis dans une pièce, on a balancé de l'oxygène. Alors ça, c'est une pièce qui, nous, quand on fait des portes ouvertes, ça nous sert pour faire une scène de cinéma parce que les belles celle-là.
This is the original outside.
This was originally outside, and this is the new case that's on the side.
And this window has got the little automatic clap there to shut it under pressure.
Yeah.
Explosions outside. And they contacted Tool and they said, what do we do?
Là, on se trouve devant des belles façades.
Oui, ça c'était à l'extérieur.
C'était des belles façades. Alors ça, c'était la première construction. La première construction, c'était à l'extérieur. Et c'est parti là. avec les biches qui ont été mises pour les ventilateurs, ben, ça a été électrifié. Et par ces petites fenêtres-là, on a
That's the, how deep we are in the,
What is this? Is it the water heater? What is this?
in the kitchen, and there's the exhaust pipes. Leading into the chimney, and there's the height of the chimney. You see how deep we are?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, you've been up, you've seen that, yeah. So, Tino,
Yes.
these were the original outside facades.
I knew they encased this place. And this was the original facade. This was the original facade of the facade of the building. And then they encased it with this whole cement thing, post-construction, with shutters and everything.
They blew up a signal station, they bombarded infantry, they shot up a cavalry regiment, they blew up a battery of 150, dragoons got caught on the edge of their range, they blew up a platoon of cyclists, they shot up some more dragoons. They blew up a brigade of cavalry, which were attacking the French cavalry. They destroyed a battery of 210s. They destroyed three batteries there. They shot on a barrage balloon. God.
My God, they might have shot a Goering.
They might have done, didn't they? They dynamited 54 meters of the railway line. They destroyed the 77 battery.
Two transport, 2 vehicles.
That's incredible.
Two? Yeah.
Incredible.
Staircase to nowhere. Oh, staircase to an observation door. Right here in the middle of the barracks. That's really interesting.
These squared off stones are...
Well, unfortunately, they do it everywhere, so I can blame them all I want. It's not going to change anything. They still did it. They're not going to undo it.
Ah, le poste optique.
Ah non, sauf toujours aux latrines, une deuxième latrine.
Oh, de latrine, ok.
Donc voilà. Et dans la particularité de là, c'est qu'il fonctionne toujours. On venait là-dessus.
Oh yeah, this is a working toilet.
Ils faisaient leur truc, ce qu'ils avaient à faire, et hop, ça fermait le...
When you finished, you took your feet off and you dumped it down below. And when the reservoir was full, the local vegetable merchant came along and got all the crap out and put it on his garden.
So that's... So you haven't permanently opened it?
No.
Ici, c'est en temps de guerre.
That's brilliant.
En temps de guerre, on appelait les WC qui étaient sur le douche qu'on a connu.
Ah oui, oui,
la cabane au fond du jardin.
The gatling, the gatling. Ah, the gatling is gone. Ah.
This must have been post-destruction.
The optique, the optical signaling post. This is the signaling lamp setup, I suppose you could say. The equipment would be here with a mirror, and the sunlight would come in through the shaft and shine on the mirror, and then they could do your Morse code, and they sent it to combien de kilomètres?
49 km 500.
49, nearly 50 kilometers to the fort of Port Saint-Vincent. Okay?
Through that tunnel.
Yeah, through that tunnel. If there was no sunlight, or not enough sunlight, they would have an oxyacetylene, and that with the 2 points to make a spark to set it off, and that would send the signal up. They would have a lamp.
So that would light it up.
Yeah, the lamp to light
Does
up.
any pictures exist of this thing?
Est-ce qu'il y a des photos qui existent de l'équipement?
Non, on l'a jamais retrouvé.
Jamais la trouvé.
That is tragic.
Ah, parce qu'il y a un obus qui est tombé au début au-dessus et ça a tout chassé. Donc tout est parti, on a fouillé en face, on a rien trouvé.
A shell hit it right at the
Comme
beginning.
c'était pas épais, c'était pas de la ferraille épaisse, ça avait trouvé. C'est dommage.
Yeah, I can see there's been some shrapnel going on in here. Something
Shell hit
blew
it and smashed it in at the beginning of the combat.
Why is this not a vulnerable spot? It's a big ass tunnel. People can crawl out from here.
Quelle est la vulnérabilité de ce tunnel?
Là,
Si un ennemi tire dans le tunnel, qu'est-ce qu'il y a pour protéger l'intérieur?
ici il y a du barbelé qui était en travers, mais c'est tout, il n'y avait rien d'autre.
There's nothing else.
Ici,
No
mais
protection.
ici il fallait déjà y arriver, parce qu'il y a les fossés. Il fallait vraiment tirer, vraiment tomber dedans par hasard.
Ça passe juste au-dessous
Ça passe juste au ras de contre-escarpe. Il faudrait vraiment qu'il soit
très proche.
Un gars, un coup de bol.
You got to be very close before you can shoot in this bit.
Yeah, I know, but it's just vulnerable enough.
It is, isn't it? You'd expect a shatter or something, wouldn't you?
Il y a une porte quand même, il y a une porte quand même qui s'en
There was a door. There was a door.
Mais il y a l'abri à l'extérieur, on n'y va pas parce que c'est plein. Il y a un...
What's the alarm door?
Ils ont proposé des obus de 80. Il y en a un qui a tiré, qui a rasé le fort, et qui avait le traitement qui a fait sauter. Et c'est un coup de bol.
Oh. Was there an armored door?
Yeah, there was a door just in front of the projector.
Yeah, even stairs are taken damage.
Yeah, I know, I noticed. That's what I was thinking too.
Vous savez qu'il y a un gatling électrifié qui existe dans le musée de l'armée à Paris? Si je peux le trouver, je vais vous l'envoyer.
Oh, now we're talking. Huh. So this is the outer of the casemate of the reinforcement that was built later,
Yeah.
and something hit it.
That's a preserved one.
Alors, si vous venez une autre chose, tu vas voir, il y aura un parapet, il y aura au bout, il y a le trou avec la colle. Et à côté, il y a les premiers.
This is the gatling turret. Wow. Wow, the thickness of the walls. Holy.
There's 2 floors here, though. There's 2 floors. There's a curve for a tunnel here, and then that's the one we're going into. See, right up here, there's a tunnel up there. There's a tunnel on top. Oh wow! Holy crap!
Alors partout où on avait un parapet, on avait un abri. Hein, on se mettait à l'abri. Donc là au-dessus, on avait un abri. Là, il est parti.
Moment.
Alors que tout à l'heure, on était à l'abri numéro 12. Alors ici, dans cette galerie-là, ça desservait une tourelle Gatling au-dessus. Pas Gatling, une Mougin au-dessus. Ici, on est au bout du tunnel de la galerie circulaire. Vous avez vu tout à l'heure, quand on était à la 57, on avait le début de la galerie circulaire. Et là, on est au bout de la galerie circulaire. Donc là, on aurait fait tout le tour du fort.
Oh, went all
This
around.
gallery.
This is the end of it. Yeah, it comes around there.
Can I go through it until I see the first bat and I promise to leave?
But it's still the end of where we were before. The circle gallery.
This?
Do you want to go through?
Of course I want to go through. What does it look like?
You vote.
Tu peux aller voir là, si tu veux. Tu peux. Vas-y.
Give me your.
C'est sportif.
I'll be back.
All right.
I'll come back this way because I want to get the outside.
Et là, tu as un gatling. Ok. Vous n'avez pas de photo du gatling. J'ai trouvé, puis en photo, je suis sûr
This is awesome. Oh my goodness, this is great. This gallery runs all the way around the fort on the outside. Well, technically, I'm on the inside. But I am on the outside. You better know what I mean. Because apparently I'm not capable of explaining it to you. Of course, things have been blown up significantly. And he's a smart man letting me go crazy. So yeah, go for a walk. He's damn well knew that the gallery had been broken in many places. Heartbreaking. I have never seen a ditch wall with a counterscarp that has a tunnel all the way throughout. Wow. This is amazing on so many levels. I'm coming. It's blocked here.
The gatling from here still exists.
It does.
7-barreled, 8mm electrified gatling.
Let's go get it. Where is it?
It's been pinched from here.
Well, that's not a surprise.
And it is now in a museum somewhere in Holland.
In Holland, the Dutch again?
Yeah, the Dutch. Can we organize a raid?
Yes. I mean, don't they sort of have a, I don't know, right to give it back?
That's the circle of the counterweight, you know, on Beton, for the Gatling turret, like a Hotchkiss turret.
Yeah.
Yeah, the twin Hotchkiss turrets.
Smart letting me run through it like around the Dutch did it. Correct.
Yeah, the Dutch.
Again.
Yeah. Nick anything that's not screwed down.
Apparently, yeah.
Donc ici on a le deuxième, la deuxième projecteur. Alors ce projecteur-là éclaire la voie ferrée Paris-Strasbourg.
Right, this one lit up the railway line Paris-Strasbourg. And these are the rails that you would roll it backwards on to protect it.
Sous la tôle au milieu là, et ben on a la fosse du contrepoids.
Alright, there's a well under there for the counterweight.
Quand ça pétait beaucoup au-dessus, quand ça pétait pour éviter les vibrations, on redescendait le long, hein, ça coûtait très cher, hein, ces lampes-là. On les redescendait et on les tirait avec un rail qui venait ici. On le mettait à l'abri ici. C'est là qu'il y a les rails encore au sol pour la mettre à l'abri.
When there were explosions above, the lamps were very fragile.
Of course.
So they would bring it down and they would run it to the side here.
They're running in there.
To hide it.
But it still had to be pulled down here first, the shop.
C'est du
Yeah.
90, hein. C'est diamètre 90 et ça éclairait à 3 km.
They went 3 kilometers.
3 kilometers.
40mm. Elle existe à froid. Si on démontait le fond de froid d'un jour, vous pouvez récupérer, hein?
Oui, avec le père Mario.
Oh là, il serait pas content. Hein? C'est le cousin de ma petite amie.
Le gros, il gueulerait.
Mais il a déjà piqué son Hotchkiss à 5 canons.
Mais eux, ils ont fait refaire à Froid, ils ont fait refaire par le lycée Loritz. Ils ont fait refaire un affût, ils ont facile.
So 2 Hotchkisses, 800 rounds. This baby finds it over 1,000. Do you know that?
Right.
In England you can buy and use a gatling because the police register it if it's a 6-barrel. They register it as 6 independent rifles. The balcony, that is impressive, isn't it? There are 5 shells up there.
There are.
155.
The dome for the lighting. That was here. So, the gatling is this way. It's down here. There's the gatling pit. Alright, as we're crawling up the hill for once again. Anti-grenade nets.
Those would be the tensioning points.
Yeah, of course. So what kind of metal net?
Yeah, metal net.
Metal mesh.
Yeah.
So thick enough to actually keep a grenade from digging in.
No, it's to bounce the grenade back. you tension it, and the spring tension in the steel mesh would throw the grenade back at the Germans.
Okay.
I never known that existed.
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure that would work, but I really would like to see the trials on that.
Yeah.
I have doubts.
Well, how do you test it? And you get some idiot to throw it and see if it bounces back on you.
You put it up somewhere in an artillery range and then you fire some shells at it and see if they bounce back. I wouldn't put my life on it.
C'est bon en théorie, ça, mais en practice, je sais pas. On sait pas. No. Look, there's there's that up there, look. Oh, yes. And there's the searchlight tower sticking up.
So,
14, 44, ça m'attire pas. Bon, si j'ai des trucs, si j'ai des entrées, oui. Mais je peux pas attention à la tête. Les compteurs.
Oui, ah oui, c'est pour les visites, c'est
Petit, avec même ça, ouais. Interdit. Là, c'est les casernements de paix, tu vas voir.
right. The peace barracks again. Visitors don't come this way. Ah, there's a hole there.
so did the Germans do anything here during World War II? Did they use it for storage or anything?
Ils utilisaient pour abriter des munitions, les Allemands, pendant la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. The resistance fighters came here.
Really?
Yeah.
Au bout là-bas,
Hein?
et sur la gauche, il filmera, il y a une belle pièce avec un lavoir.
Right, if you can clamber over that rubble down there, you can go to the end of this little piece, turn left, and there's a room with a lavoir with a wash basin in it.
Will do.
Okay.
Ooh. This looks like something else. This is a wash basin. That is exactly what this is. A wash basin. I'm laughing because something similar to this is featured in a conspiracy theory that people are certainly carrying around right now. But we'll get back to that in a different episode. So these are the original old peacetime barracks. You will notice the black paint, spider-proof paint. And this is nicely well swept. Kinds of broom. Yeah,
Lots of big holes in the roof.
I mean, if you ask for ventilation enough, I guess the Germans will provide it.
Yes.
Cool. What is this? It's a forge. What's that thing?
Là, il faisait la ferraille, là, il tapait sur l'enclume, là, il allait voir le matériel, et là, il
This is where he plunges the metal when he's heated it.
pour mettre, refroidir.
Yeah. pushes it in there, like you see in. Okay, so this was the room set aside for contagious cases of tuberculosis, etc. And this is where they brought the guys who were suffering from smoke poisoning, and they brought the oxygen bottle from the lab.
Okay.
And they released the oxygen in here.
And then there's some crosses and some stuff. I guess
Yeah,
they're not buried.
the 4 crosses for the 4 guys who died here.
And the 2 I guess they're not buried.
No, and then just made it a little bit of a battlefield.
Yeah, I like that.
The things of no great value.
Alors, quand vous êtes arrivé.
There's some band, there are 222 survivors of the fort. Et combien 172. And 72 of them turned up in 1962.
Any Germans?
Et les Allemands? Pas d'Allemands, pas invités. Je fais sur nos They put an officer's kitchen here, and they found a machine gun in here. Et la mitrailleuse, il se trouve où?
They found a mitrailleuse? Is this the circular road or tunnel?
We came in the other end of the tunnel.
Yeah. How do you find a mitrailleuse? It's a gigantic fucking gun. How do you miss one? How do you lose one?
How do you lose one? I don't know.
We just have to steal one, then we've got to rob that museum in Holland.
Turn up with a pickup with a machine gun on the back. Give us our gatling back.
Donc là, on a atterri, c'est dans une galerie, hein, elle était fermée.
Infirmary that was blown up that's sealed off? Was that the infirmary that's blown up that he sealed off?
L'infirmerie n'était pas détruite, l'infirmerie.
Ici, c'est pas les.
Oh, this is a nice one.
So was this powder or was this shells?
Well, I mean, yeah, powder for putting in chest.
So this was...
No, don't forget the 155. It was fire with a bag of silk.
Bon, là, on a
Yeah.
accès à des chambres, il y a des chambrées derrière, mais bon, tout est boulé. Hein. On voit bien que ça a bougé. Là.
Is this the...
Oh là là, this
Une
woke
galerie,
coming sideways.
ça arrive dans des chambres hein, derrière.
Wow, look at the way that the corridors, the roof is moved sideways, all the wall is bulged outwards.
Yeah.
And here, oops. Oh dear.
What are you doing?
I'm falling down holes.
Oh, okay, don't do that.
I'm bending my wobbly toe. Amazing to see a corridor that's splinting, isn't it? Officers' quarters.
Alors la particularité dans cette chambre, l'officier a été sauvé par son écu de jumelles. Il a pris la plaque du jumeau, en pleine poitrine, et il avait la marque des jumelles.
Oh wow, a shell hit here, a blast came down the chimney and into the officer's room. And he was saved because he had his binocular case, and the blast hit him in the chest, and you could see the mark of the binocular case left on his skin.
Is that an electrical cable or...
C'est le câble électrique.
Ici c'est le câble tout délicat de la tête.
Oh, it's an earthing cable.
It is?
An earthing cable.
That's what I thought you said, in here of all places.
Pour amener l'électricité, c'est des sacrés câbles.
A shell came down through the chimney. It's not really one of those things that's not supposed to happen. I think you build a manual for a fort and it says shells are not supposed to come down chimneys. I think that's in the manual.
Quand ils ont commencé à faire péter, ils ont fait péter le fond là-bas.
Oh yeah, oh, smash.
Holy crap.
That's the first bit they started to blow up.
This is actually blown up from the inside.
Oh, look on the corner right where you are,
Uh-huh.
to the right of you.
grey mark which says you are not safe here.
Well, no shit. I've noticed.
Ils ont ajouté ça après que les Français ont repris. Oui, mais le béton spécial est assez. Oui, mais je pense que quand les Français sont revenus, ils ont dit on n'a pas renforcé cette partie-là. Alors, ce n'est pas donc.
What happened in there? This is interesting, isn't it? Fuck me. Wow. Ventilation hole, maybe. Oh, bathroom. Damn it, why do these people always blow up the toilets in these places? I see light, I see daylight. Don't I? I don't see rubble that's crumbling. I see daylight around there. There's an observation shaft, possibly. The lights here, I'm not correct. Yeah. Yes, dear. I crawled into the wall.
This place survived an earthquake about 12 years ago.
An earthquake?
Yeah, nothing but that. Yeah, right, small earthquake.
Sorry, I crawled inside the wall.
Yeah, they closed, that's why they closed the Cattenom nuclear power station, because it's on an earthquake zone.
Huh?
You've seen it all now. You know.
Oh, this came sideways. Look at that. Bloody hell, that's blown out of the wall. That is serious damage.
Oh, man.
Major destruction. Well, there's one word that describes this fortress: massive. Massive size, massive armament, massive achievements in a limited amount of time, and massive destruction.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant.
Par ailleurs, enfin, je peux l'arrière, le fameux trigone là, pour récupérer l'eau, le ruissellement. En haut, là, tu as un parapet encore, hein, là au-dessus, là, un parapet. Si tu avances un peu, là il y a une pièce, c'était où il y avait les ogives 80, une petite pièce entreposée.
Ah! There's a little room here where there was the 80mm shells. For the old the little field guns with no recoil mechanisms.
Oh.
Le système de bord, je pense, hein? Ça va? Oh yeah, that is.
Weed whacker. Weed whacker. We need a weed whacker.
Yeah. So where are the guns? On the ramparts?
Oh, well, tell me. Just be some munition in here.
Yeah. 80mm. The scrap was even cut through.
This is not the ditch or anything. This is just.
No.
Oh, this is not the ditch. This is still inside the fort. This is just the building.
Allez, montage, t'as un parapet?
Mm-hmm.
shrapnel, which is
That's what I mean. This where you lay standing. There was a shell there, right?
Yeah,
C'est 17 000, on ne sait pas où ils sont tous tombés. Hein.
Alors, le fossé est derrière.
Derrière.
Okay. It's meant to fool you. You clamber over the ramparts and you get stuck. You fall in here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. When you sit here, and then you run this way, and then you're stuck here.
Ah, on vous attend.
C'est un jeu.
Vous m'avez dit que quelqu'un vous attendait à 1 heure, hein? Mais si.
And we're used to these massive entrances with massive firepower and gun ports. And here there's literally just this. And this is such an enormous place. Of course, there was no dirt bank here. There was a bridge all along in here on the counterscarp. There's a tunnel. There's a walkway running in the other wall. It's not like that's amazing or anything, but that's pretty amazing. That led in under the ditch at one point. Well, I'm seeing some water, but I don't care. Outside, perhaps. This is really amazing. I never seen a tunnel like this go through an entire fort on a wall. Well, I have. It's getting a little wet in here. This is continuous. That's amazing. We got a little bit of water going on in here. A little better. Where did the idiot go? Well, he just took off. Went into a tunnel and was never seen again. I'm walking along the inside of the ditch. In the mud. This is amazing. This is just amazing. Simply, simply, simply. This is continuous. At some point in time it has to be collapsed because of the shell fire, but I'm not seeing it. It just goes on. It goes around all around.
And in case you hadn't caught on, this is the walkway that runs inside the outer counterscarp all around the fort, except of course in the places that you've seen inside that has been breached. I have never in my life seen a completely surrounding tunnel on the outside of the moat of any fort. This is just cool.
This is surreal. I think the fort was on 7 hectares. Maybe an outside sortie port. That's fine. I have no idea how far this is going to go until I eventually get stopped by a collapse. I mean, come on. See, these are like just like the National Line tunnels. You have a technical tunnel running out of the middle. somewhere at the other end of this, there should be a firing position for the ditch. A little caponnier or ditch defense or something. Oh, what do we have here? Ooh, oh, look at this. Firing position, close defensive position stuck in here. And you know what it's stuck in here with? It's stuck in here full of shells. Okay, well that's what I'll put in my wall, obviously. And here it stops. Well, how wicked was that walk? Right? And that's only one long side of the, oh yeah. Yeah, I start seeing the damage coming from within. So on the other side of that, it's destroyed. I barely see the light down at the end of the tunnel. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll walk towards the light. No, wait, I'm supposed to not walk towards it. Never mind. I'm just messing around. That's where the bats live. That's where we're going out. Here was a door. Because here, we're out in the ditch. It has some damage done to it, it has. And here was a very small firing position down the ditch. I'm surprised at how small the firing positions were that were in the actual ditch. Especially because here, it looks like there's only one. There's one firing that way, and one firing that way. Where not that many years before, you would have 4 or 5 of these firing down the long side of a ditch. And here's one is enough. Up in the entrance, not many more. So close defensive or against infiltration, there was not a whole lot. And the fighting observation, lighting positions, domes, clustered very close together. Right.
Vous voyez, on voit par exemple ici, vous voyez, il y a des inscriptions, on voit le cas allemand. Hein.
Ok. Les Allemands ont fait ces marques-là.
C'est une stèle ici.
This was a little building put up for the engineers, built by German prisoners of war in 1921. And there's a little, they've signed their work.
1921. They kept German prisoners in 1921?
Ils avaient encore des prisonniers en
Il y avait des prisonniers. Il y avait une compagnie de prisonniers qui était ici.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little engineering office. Wow. That is the support girders of the Galopin Twin 155, which was just to the right of the entrance. There were 4 turrets, big ones, 4 Twin 155s.
Behind me is Van von Baun's first test stand. Down the road is Diebner's nuclear reactor. Over there is the Maginot Line and all its amazing forts. I'm visiting them all and I'm bringing them to you. So I really appreciate you like, follow, and share what I'm doing, trying to document all these important historical locations. And if you feel like you want to watch more pictures or documents that I use for these, go to lostbattlefields.com. And if you feel like helping me out with my travels, because gasoline and travel and airfare is expensive, my PayPal is there, protectionserviceint.com. You are more than welcome, but you don't have to. I appreciate all your support and all your help, and I love seeing these locations, and I love bringing them to you.